Hey guys, welcome in. So we finally got to see this USC team out on the field, and I have a bunch of takeaways about what we saw, and I know you guys do too, so fire them in down below. Give me any thoughts you have about the game, who stood out to you, who was a disappointment. Make sure to let me know down in the comments. But before we get into it today, if you are enjoying the videos, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help support the channel in an even bigger way, you can do so on my Patreon for only $1 a month. Thanks so much for being here, and let's get into it. Alright, so first, I just want to highlight some players who really stood out to me when I was watching the game. First up has to be true freshman running back Quentin Joyner. He really showed me a lot in this one. I mean, he looks smooth, explosive, but most importantly, patient. With freshman running backs, I mean, we even saw it with Ray Leak last year, but they can have a real bad tendency to try and do too much. They hit the hole too fast or make too many horizontal cuts. Quentin set up his blocks very well, and his burst was really noticeable. I was very impressed by him. He had multiple big runs in this game. He just looks like a guy that is ready to play in year one, and I would fully expect him to. Next up is another running back I want to talk about in Marshawn Lloyd. As most of you know, I've pretty much anointed myself as the leader of the Marshawn Lloyd fan club. That crazy run after the catch he had today is a perfect example of why I think so highly of him. He makes people miss, but he still runs with power, and he can put his foot in the ground and just separate from people with his speed. So after that play, if any of you want to hop on the bandwagon, there's plenty of seats open, so come on over before it's too late. Next, I've got to talk about Zach Branch. That guy just moves and just looks different. And he's so fiery and competitive. You saw him getting into it with multiple guys throughout the game. I mean, he threw Shane Lee down like it was nothing. Again, he's just different. I mean, he's really going to be a star in this offense. Next, I've got 3 defensive linemen to highlight: Sam Green, Solomon Tuliapupu, and Keon Bars. First, talking about Keon and Sam. They're both very athletic, very quick and disruptive. I love what I saw from those two. They both really flashed on screen. And let's talk about Solo. First thing, man, does he look bigger. Like, substantially bigger. And he really flashed in this game. Lincoln even mentioned him in the post-scrimmage presser. I mean, he has absolutely skyrocketed up my list of guys who I think can make big impacts this upcoming season. Alright, and just a few more quick ones. Caleb Williams, obviously. That first drive was just a continuation from last year. He looked flawless as ever, and it was cool to see him receive the school's copy of the Heisman. But God, he didn't have to put my man Brett Nealon on blast the way he did, but I guess that's okay. Seriously, did you guys notice what he did to Brett? So moving on, Dennis Lynch made his kick, so good job there. Damani was really playing physical out there at corner. He had those back-to-back tackles that were really impressive. And Elijah Page. I mean, you can see the talent. I haven't done a full film deep dive, but from just my first rough draft first glance, I thought he had some really good reps out there. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see him playing for SC at some point this year. Jacoby Covington is another guy who just looked bigger, and he really used his length well today. Amarian Peterson looked great from the running back spot as well. USC running back coach Kyle McDonald is really one of the best in the business. And moving back to defense for a second, I am so excited to see Christian Pierce grow and develop. This guy's going to be a big-time playmaker in the USC secondary. And lastly, Jamil Muhammad. You see the power, you see the speed, you see the bend. This guy is going to be an absolute force for SC this year. He led the team in sacks during spring ball, and I think he'll do the same for SC during the year. I'm sure there are more that I'm forgetting about, but again, I have yet to do my full breakdown of this game. So now I want to talk about some of the more disappointing performances from today. First, I've got to start with cornerback Sayre Wright. He got beat a few times, and he was just way too handsy and just mauling the wideouts. Especially with all the praise Lincoln was bestowing on him, I expected more today. Corey Foreman looked noticeably smaller and got blasted off the ball a couple times, so it wasn't great from him today either. And like I mentioned earlier, Shane Lee just got launched by Zach Branch. When you're a linebacker and you're that size and you're going up against a quick slot receiver, as strong as Zach may be, that can't happen. The linebackers as a group were kind of a disappointment in this game. I mean, Tackett got juked out of his shoes by Ray Leak. He came downhill at full speed and didn't break down when Ray Leak got by him. But having said that, with all the early enrollee true freshmen, I'm glad they made mistakes. They were all studs in high school, best players on their teams. Learning the hard way what college football is all about will do nothing but help them grow and learn. I know some people will say that Malachi was disappointing, but for a guy that couldn't throw 100% pretty much all of spring, I'm going to give him a pass. He got a lot of reps, which is really good to see. You saw that touch he has on those deep balls, so yeah, I wouldn't include him on this list. Alright, now just some overall takeaways from the game. The offensive line very much looks like a unit that has multiple new faces in the starting lineup. It takes time for an offensive line to gel. However, I would like to applaud the defensive line because they did a great job of getting pressure. And I'll be honest though, when that first drive happened and the offense went right up the field with little to no resistance, I was kind of cringing. I mean, it looks so similar to last year, both offensively and defensively, but I'm just going to chalk that up to Caleb Williams' greatness because the defense was really good the rest of the day. I also love seeing the interaction between Caleb Williams and Malachi Nelson on the offensive sideline. You can really tell Caleb is taking him under his wing and teaching and talking him through everything. That'll do nothing but help ensure Malachi is ready to step in as SC starter in 2024. Alright, we talked about the running backs. It was a bit of an underwhelming day for the wideouts. There wasn't a ton of separation, so good job to the corners for sticking with them. That's the funny thing with the spring game. Whenever you have a negative, there's usually a positive on the other side of the ball. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the spring game. Again, there's so many players and moving parts in these games, so I know I missed something. I need your guys' help. What did I miss? Who impressed you? Who was a disappointment? Please let me know down in the comments where you stand with the team. Alright guys, it was a blast seeing the boys out on the field today. It'll be a while before we see them again, so I'm really going to soak this one in and watch it a few more times over the next week to look at what really went on in this game. But having said all of that, that will do it for me today, guys. If you did enjoy this breakdown, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on.